All right, a little bit of Phoenix to start us off. Welcome, everyone, to today's Saros Educate webinar, utilizing Educate and the community, where we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Educate site, your one-stop knowledge shop for all things Saros, to show you how you can make the most of our resources to elevate everything you do with Saros. My name is Travis, and I am the digital content educator on the Saros Educate team. I will be your host for today. If you've been around the Saros Educate community for a minute, you've probably seen me around. I lead a lot of webinars, trainings, courses, and I'm in a lot of our videos and training resources throughout the site. But if you're new and this is our first time meeting, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. So, like I said, we are going to be doing a deep dive on the Educate site, starting with how to access the site, how to log in, and then we'll start to drill down into the different areas of Educate, our help center, our community, how to set up messaging and notifications, and then we'll save some time at the end for Q&A, since you might have some questions, because we're just going to be throwing a lot of resources at you today. So as we're going through, feel free to drop any questions you have either in the Q&A box or the chat, and we'll save some time at the end to address those. So let's check it out, shall we? So there's a couple different ways that you can get to Educate. You could, of course, just go to educate.saros.com. You can also access it from the Saros admin in the resources tab by clicking on the launch button here in the Educate section. If you're in the studio, you can click on the help menu, which is that little question mark icon in the top right corner of a studio. And those top three links will take you to our Educate site, which looks like this. This will be the landing page that you're brought to once you arrive. At the top here, we will have a fantastic header graphic that will be often designed by one of our Educate community members. Shout out to everyone that's done one so far. We'll also have weekly webinar live streams here if you want to tune into those from the Educate site. And we'll also have things that we want to highlight here, upcoming webinars and courses, and also what's new with Educate and Saros. Now, chances are there might be a few of you on this call that have never once logged into Educate, or maybe didn't know that you could. If you would like to log in or create a Educate account so that you have access to using the full capacity of our site, you can click on the login button right here if you do have an account or have an existing Saros account, because those are now connected, or you can click the sign up button right here. Thanks for sharing that link, Liana. So like I said, you could log in with your Saros account if you've yet to do so. You could also log in with the Google account or create an account with your own credentials. I typically log in with my Google account, so this is just going to be just a one click for me. And now I'm in. Once you get logged in to Educate, you can then start diving into our many resources to help you out create whatever it is you're looking to create with our tools. So let's start with the Help Center here in the upper left side of Educate. This is, well, where you can get help for anything that you're trying to achieve. These will all be guides that will have videos, screenshots, and interactive arcades to really walk you through step by step on how to use our tools and features to the absolute maximum. So if you first say want to learn how to apply animations to something in the studio, you could either search for that up top here in the search bar, or you could search for it here in the little help center box with each one of our different products. We have a help center for studio, editor, and markup that you can peruse through. So for instance, maybe I want to, how do I apply animations? And right there, it's the first experience, or first article, I should say. And like I said, it's going to have detailed instructions on how to go about this process, often with embedded resources, videos, and more, to really kind of cut down on the time it takes to get this stuff up and running in the studio, and hopefully make it as pain-free as a process as possible for everyone. As you're checking out these articles, if you see something that you maybe could use more clarification on, or there's a detail that maybe would help out other users that you've experienced, feel free to drop a comment in these articles, because we're always looking to improve our resources on the Educate site. Beyond the Help Center articles, we also have a dedicated video library, which has a lot to explore. We have many different tours of our different tools. We also have recordings of past workbook build-alongs and build-along lessons. There's so much to explore in here. So let's just kind of quickly go through these different categories. So this first set will explore the Sero suite. If you're unfamiliar with what some of our products do, this is a great place to learn about what markup is, what editor is, or even what studio is if you're new to using our tools. We then have blueprints, which are kind of specialized, curated lessons to show you how to achieve a specific goal. Like, for instance, how to use a live web page in markup. And in these blueprints, we'll also have additional resources that we link out to supplement the video and FAQs that some folks might be asking related to these different topics. As I mentioned a moment ago, we also have many different build-alongs and studio lessons in here as well. So everything from creating a interactive slideshow to creating accessible content you can learn about in here. Next up, we've got cuts, which are essentially bite-sized chunks of webinars, events, and courses that we've done here in the Educate community that you can absorb very quickly. These are done by our fantastic multimedia designer, Alex. So these are all, like I said, bite-sized, usually minute to 2 minutes, sometimes longer. But the point of these is so if there's a specific topic that you're interested in learning about, maybe from one of our webinars, but you couldn't sit through the whole thing, you could check out one of these cuts and just kind of focus on the information that is most important to you from these events, courses, and things that we've done live. We next have shortcuts, which are even more bite-sized tutorials on how to set up animations, do infinite loops, and so much more. And then finally here, we also have a place for our weekly live stream, which again, will be on the homepage when you get to Educate. But now let's talk about the more collaborative aspect about community, which we've been very excited about this last year since we made the platform switch to Zendesk to Better mode. And that is our community section right here. We're so very grateful for everyone's support so far and the outpour of ideas and participation in the community. So shout out to everyone that is part of our community that is growing by the day. So starting here at the top within the community section, we have webinars and events. This is where you can check out everything that we've got coming down the pipeline with upcoming events. You can also view on-demand webinars that we've done, such as the one I'm facilitating right now will be up here later on today with the recording. And oftentimes in these on-demand webinar sections, if you will, there will be the decks or presentation decks that we included in the webinars or other details that are important to kind of fill out any gaps that we might have missed within the live events. So definitely worth checking these out if you missed out on attending the live event. But now let's take a look at our discussion boards. There's a lot to explore here. We've got our Seros bulletin board, which our fabulous Liana will update on a weekly basis. She will include anything that you need to know about in terms of upcoming webinars, creative challenges, new guides, cuts, videos that we've got on the way. Check back weekly to see what we got coming down and also what's new with Seros. We then have an area where you can ask my team and I product questions. So, for instance, Katie, who is actually an internal user here at Seros, she asked us a little while back how you could potentially translate an experience from English to Chinese and if we had any best practices to offer with that process. And the beauty of asking questions in our discussion boards is that not only will we respond to you, but oftentimes our power users in our Educate community will respond to you as well to give you even more details and context from their own experience with these different tools, features, and questions that are raised here. So as you can see here, I responded to Katie with a couple of little guidelines, and I also highlighted a integration with a tool called Transifex to help making the process of translating an experience from English to Chinese a little bit more streamlined. And then Jess, who, by the way, has a ton of badges, we'll talk about those later, she chimed in and talked about her experience with Transifex and how great it was and how seamless of a process that was, and just kind of advocated for Transifex. So there's definitely a lot of value in raising questions that you have about the product in our product questions board, because not only will we respond to you, like I said, but other members in the community have an opportunity to come forth and raise or give any details or experience that they've had themselves. We also have an area where you can ask for design help. So this is more focused on specific design asks rather than product questions. So like how to um, set up a filter function, for example, or how to set up a bilingual landing page. This is more specific to the design aspect rather than just questions about the product. But like product questions, you can come here, ask my team and I for help with your designs, and we'll respond to you, and perhaps other users will as well. The next area I want to touch on is our community commons. This is a private little space that is brand new to the Educate community. And this is where folks within the community can just kind of connect with one another. It's not very work related at all. It's kind of more focused on just kind of giving shout outs and playing games and overall just a place where we can all connect and have fun together. There was a lot of enthusiasm, especially from Gene and our community, to get such a space created. So we are happy to have finally launched our community commons. And this is a totally private space for our Educate community users. If you participate in one of our Studio 101 or our one of our 101 courses, so Studio 101, Editor 101, or Markup 101, once you've completed the projects attached to those 101 courses, you can submit those here in the 101 course submissions page. And you will earn yourself a little certification badge next to your profile name in Educate, signifying that, hey, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these projects or products and know how to use them quite well. So if you want to get some bragging rights, definitely submit those 101 projects if you do them so that we can give you a badge. And yeah, fantastic. And then finally here, this is also a relatively new addition to the discussion boards. We've got our product roadmap. So this is actually managed by our product team, which is great because you can see the features that we've recently launched within our tools, features that are in the works, and features that the product team are actively researching right now. If you don't see something that you would like to see come to our tools, you can also make a request for that idea right here, which I would strongly encourage folks to do that are viewing this call today, because the more we hear from you, or the more our product team hears from you, and the more ideas that are submitted and the more similar ideas that are submitted, the more likely it is that those ideas will come to fruition within our products. All right. Next, let's take a look at our creative challenges, which are kind of a nice little break from our daily workloads. These are a way to get more acquainted with our tools and have a little bit of fun in the process. We will do these on a monthly basis, and usually these creative challenges will be centered around a specific topic, such as embedding, maybe making a landing page. A couple of months ago when the Olympics were going on, we had a strange Olympics challenge. These are a lot of fun, and we often have a lot of really great submissions from our community members that blow us away time and time again. So definitely worth checking these out if you're new to the community to see all these wonderful artistic expressions on display. And we'd encourage you to participate in the future. I kind of touched on these a moment ago, but the next area here in the community section that I want to touch on is the courses and certifications page. So as I touched on earlier, we have multiple different 101 courses for all of our products. And these are pretty short-winded so that you don't have to spend a ton of time really getting acquainted with our different products. We'll include tours of our products. We'll often have videos and learning experiences. Shout out to Kelsey, that will help you with the process of learning our different tools. And then, like I said, once you complete design challenges within these 101 projects, if you want to get certified for these different products, you can submit your studio projects or editor projects in the 101 submissions. Where is it? Right here. And we'll give you a little badge next to your name saying that you completed one of these self-paced courses. But we have a lot more here in courses and certifications. We also do what we call guided design courses. These are 5-week-long courses that are designed to help users not only level up their skills in the studio, but also help level up their design skills as well in kind of a more general sense, so that you can take these skills and apply them to all the design work you do, even if it's outside of Saros. So we have our visual design series, which will initially focus more on design principles, things like contrast, alignment. And then we also have our interactive content creation series, which really focuses more on what you can do in the studio to make amazing interactive content. We only have one course coming up for the rest of the year that will be the third in the visual design series called Creating Your Design Process, but we will be launching a full slew of guided design courses in the coming year. So if you're interested in these, I would encourage you guys to check back. We'll also make an announcement when registration is available if you would like to participate in these. But doing so will not only level up your skills, but you will also get a certification of completion that you completed, these different courses. And again, this is a nice way to kind of show off that you are now leveling up your skills as a designer and also a power user in Saros. After you've completed a certain set of courses, so either the visual design series or the interactive content creation series, if you complete all of the courses within those different sets of courses, you will be awarded the Ruby badge. And then if you complete everything, you will be awarded the very exclusive Onyx badge. There are only a handful. I know there's a few of them out there, but there's only a handful of users in our Educate community that have taken the time to get the Onyx badge. That's a 25-week commitment, gang. That is a lot of time spent with my team and I. Thank you. Also, side note, thank you so much for being a part of those courses. But that is such a huge commitment and a huge achievement to going through 25 weeks of leveling up your skills with design and the Saros Studio. If you want to learn a little bit more about these courses, we've got FAQs down here to dive into if this is something that interests you. All right, gang. Next up, let's talk about community designs. There's, again, a lot to explore here. I feel like this is just like a fridge that's too full right now. We have so much to show you today. But in community designs, this is where you can check out some of the experiences that my team and I have created. We've got learning experiences. So these wonderful workbooks that Kelsey creates to kind of walk you through step by step on how to achieve different things in the studio, such as creating a carousel, applying animations. We also have a section for community creation, so experiences that we want to highlight from our community users. These are often pulled from guided design courses or our creative challenges. So if you want to see how other folks in the community are creating cool stuff, I would check this out here. And then we also have our own version of the asset library, not to be confused with the asset library in the studio and editor. This is a place where you can actually take kind of bite-sized experiences, import them into your account, and then use them however you would like. You can kind of think of them as micro templates, if you will, but lots of good stuff to pull from here if you're interested in doing so. All right. So now let's say you're perusing through Educate, you want to ask a question, but maybe you're not entirely comfortable with raising it so that it's publicly visible in product questions or design help. At that point, you could then reach out to my team and I directly through the message section right here of Educate. You could draft the message to one of us. Leon and I mostly talk through Slack, so we only have a very short message thread here on Educate. But again, if you don't feel quite comfortable raising your question publicly, you can always reach out to my team and I directly through the messaging here on the Educate site, and we'll be able to help you out. That being said, I would strongly encourage you guys, if you're comfortable and willing, to raise your questions in product questions or design help, because chances are it might be able to help someone else down the road, or you might be able to get additional help from other users in the community. So if you're comfortable with doing that, I would raise your questions in here. But of course, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you are welcome to directly message myself or other members of the Educate team, and we'll be able to help you out. Now, in terms of notifications, how to get notified when something is responded to, when we have an update, all of your notifications can be managed by clicking on your profile icon and then selecting account settings. That'll be in the notifications tab right here. So you can sign up for email notifications if you would like to be in the know there, and you can really kind of fine tune what you're subscribed to with our different spaces so that you can be in the know on what's most important to you in the Educate space. Awesome. Cool. I know I just went through a whole lot in like 20 minutes. So hopefully it wasn't information overload. But now I would like to turn it over to our wonderful audience and see if we have any questions on anything that we touched on today in the Educate site or community. And if there's anything maybe you'd like to see. right. I guess we did a pretty thorough job, team. Ooh, Kaylee has a question. How many badges are possible to collect? Infinite, Kaylee. Honestly, I don't think we're ever going to stop putting out badges because we'll, continue to do the guided design courses. I know there are plans to expand our offerings with the guided design courses and add more to our collection of courses. We'll obviously be doing monthly creative challenges for the foreseeable future. So, really, as many as you would like to earn, Kaylee. There'll always be a new badge to earn within the Educate community. Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at those badges really quick again. So if you go into, where is it? It's in creative challenges. Oh, thank you, Liana. So since we're talking about badges, right here. Yes. So you can earn badges not only by doing courses and the 101 submissions, but you can also get them from doing other actions in the Educate community. So such as create 5 discussions, comment on 10 member generated discussion posts, complete 10 creative challenges, and so much more. So if you want to see all the badges you could potentially earn at present, this would be a place to check that out. So many badges. We're like Pokemon trainers here on the Educate team, or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, whichever you prefer. Fantastic. All right. Any other questions about anything we covered today? All right. I think we can probably wrap there then. Well, thank you all so much for joining us into this deep dive on Educate. Be sure to keep your eyes locked on educate.saros.com, educate.saros.com for guides, videos, upcoming webinars. We've got lots on the way, and hopefully you'll come out to one of those future events. But from all of us here on the Educate team, once again, thank you so much for attending today's webinar. We hope to see you soon. Take care, everybody.